You're listening to the Next Wave Radio Network.
Round 2, fight!
Can't we do our own secret shows?
All our shows are secret shows.
We have the tools, we have the talent.
You have to use so many cuss words.
Let's go.
Ooh, yeah!
I woke up and I went and I checked and I was like, oh, hey, somebody liked my post on Nine Inch Nails. And I was like, who is Atticus Ross? And I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah,
no fucking
that's
way.
So cool.
What? What happened? Tell me.
So when the Peel It Back tour, when it got posted on Facebook, I had made a post and I was like, the burning question is, are USB drives going to be showing up at these shows? Because in 2007, when he did Year Zero, that was kind of the kickoff to the ARG, where it was very interactive and there was websites and billboards and newspaper stuff. It was really, really awesome. One of my best internet experiences, I think, ever. That he really incorporated his fans into this experience. So I don't know if he liked it, saying that being like a confirmation that yes, maybe there will be, or
I think so. That's how I'm reading it.
Oh man, that would be amazing.
So cool.
Well, the cool part about the Year Zero stuff, which was where the USB drives came from, was the CD. The Year Zero CD, it was heat reactive. So when you put it in your CD player, it turned black except for a binary code.
Oh, dude.
And when you took that binary code and put it into a binary converter, it took you to a website that listed all of the usernames from the forum that was doing all the research to find all the clues and decode all of the music tracks and everything like that. And it was kind of like an updated, like, where are they now? Because the whole storyline took place in the future, but people were getting chunks of it back in the past through these tracks and hidden things in the tracks. I mean, it's Google Year Zero case study.
Okay.
It is amazing. I can't
This is
say.
our first conspiracy theory.
Right.
I think what would be even cooler is if this time around they like just, you think they're about to start playing music and then they just treat everyone to a 2-hour like timeshare presentation. That, or they like reveal their new cryptocurrency or something.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Shit.
Right. It'd be something like fuck coin or
Yeah, that would track with this timeline.
9-inch nickels. That's our new Bitcoin.
9-inch nickels. Oh, that would be nice.
Somebody get that handle.
Yeah, right. Better get that on CoinMarketCap quick. Maybe make some money like Coctua Girl.
Yeah. She's capitalizing as much as she can, right?
Yeah, she did a bit of a rug pull.
I heard she
me.
lost a whole bunch of fucking money on that, or somebody lost a bunch of money on that.
Well, anybody who invested in it lost a whole shit ton of money.
Did you pump and dump?
Yeah, it was kind of a pump and I mean,
It would be so appropriate for Coctua Girl, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Coctua coin. It just, and that's the whole thing about crypto right now is it is the wild, wild west. And it has been for
The Wild Wild West.
many years.
You don't want to see my hand where my hip be at. Sorry.
And that third voice you're hearing is a longtime friend, longtime listener, first time caller, Jason. I don't know if we're using last names on this conspiracy theory laden episode.
Let's call him.
Yes, Jason X.
Jason
X. I love that movie.
Oh fuck, Jix.
You are adding voice modulation.
Yeah, that's right. We're blocking. He has this. Well, now we get to the real reason why his camera is off. He said that his Microsoft Slate's battery was bulging, but now I think you just don't want to be tied in any way. But I've got your email address, Jason. I'm going to post it on the internet.
Got your
that's
email
very true.
address.
It's a burner Gmail.
What a weird flex. I've got your email address.
I'm going to dox him. I can dox him. I know what that means.
I've got your GeoCities account.
No worries. All identities will be safe. So Jason X, thank you for joining us on another episode of Low Res High Def. This is our podcast. I used to say weekly, and I thought about being able to say monthly, but I don't even know if I could promise that anymore.
You know what? It could still be weekly. Just WEAKLY.
There you go.
Quarterly?
Not very strong. Quarterly sometimes. Well, I think we're getting back on track. We're going to try to do this at least monthly. And we skipped January. This is our first real episode of the podcast in 2025. It's been an eventful January, so much so we couldn't cram it all in.
It's only like the 6th week of January.
Exactly.
The last 3 weeks have been the longest 10 years of my
Yeah,
life.
just about.
I know, yes. Got an incredibly full life. I appreciate you making the time to come commiserate with us once a week or month or quarter. We'll see what this turns out, but we're dedicated
We'll see
to
what
continuing
happens.
this podcast whenever we can.
Who knows? The way the world's going, this may be the final podcast ever.
That's a good point. It's maybe the series finale. And what a way to end it, too, because we've got Jason X here joining myself and Joe Cuccinati, regular hosts of Low Res High Def. By the way, we've got a website. If you want to subscribe to our podcast there, you can do it, lowreshighDef.com. You can also find us on Blue Sky, of course, Low Res High Def there. No Twitter. We don't mention that name here. That name is dead.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's X, Joel. It's also X, which is like the name
everything's X.
which is the name of his creepy son that was like picking his nose and like telling Donald Trump to shut the fuck up in the Oval Office the other day.
So nice. So cathartic. Oh my gosh. Well, listener, dare we scare you away from too much political talk?
You have tuned into the wrong podcast for this week.
No. We're going to, obviously, the topic this week is conspiracy theories. So there's no shortage of political conspiracy theories. I'm sure some of them will come up. We have to. But it's not going to be all about that. I want to delve a little more into the fun side of conspiracy theories, if that is appropriate to say, because some of them are quite serious. But it's not all about politics. Sometimes it's about aliens or celebrities or
Mysteries of the Unknown. Time Life Books presents.
or fluoride in the water, as our new health inspector, whatever the hell he is. It's positive.
Professor Brainworm. Yes.
It's the brain worm.
There you go. We'll get to all of that. But yeah, so conspiracy theories. Figured it was a fun time and appropriate to talk about this topic. And it's something I've been wanting to do for a while because I'm fascinated by it, because I love them, but then I also love to hate them sometimes. They can be a fun distraction, but they can also be very dangerous. And how do you deal with them? How do you learn what's true and what's fact? And I feel this generation has a problem parsing a lot of what is reality and how these things work. But a lot of conspiracy theories. There are conspiracy theorists because a lot of times these things turn out to be true. And it takes a whistleblower and sometimes a lot of time to unmask these things. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, all it takes with a good conspiracy, and I'm paraphrasing somebody else. This is not a quote that I made up. But a good conspiracy always starts with a kernel of truth.
Yes.
Like there's got to be a little bit of like a kernel of truth in there to make it seem like, that does kind of make sense. Like there's got to be enough of that in there to then fully form a good conspiracy theory.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yeah, having some form of fact or believable aspect is kind of crucial to the getting the conspiracy going or the theory going.
Yeah.
I don't want to say because we aren't the conspiracy; it's something else that
Right.
is conspiring against us.
It's like, okay, so you compare like the Kennedy assassination of like, hey, it was an inside job. Well, there's just enough of like truth. Like you're like, I could see that happening. There were people that didn't like Kennedy on the inside, so I could see that happening. Then you compare that to J.D. Vance. he fucks couches. Like, okay, I don't think that's anything people really believe, but it's fun to talk about. But that's
right.
That's a good
ruin the
illustration.
algorithm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that one's pretty easily traceable back to its generator. But no, you're right. Well, and as long as we're talking, I mean, we may as well start big with the JFK assassination, because when you talk about, like, that's the OG conspiracy theory, right? At least as far as our generation is concerned. We grew up watching documentaries and motion pictures about the JFK assassination, being fed a lot of different theories. Not sure what to believe. I remember Unsolved Mysteries was a favorite show of mine, where a lot of these conspiracy theories came from, that one included.
Yeah.
Where do we, all this time later, where do we all fall on that? Because I'll tell you, I used to be a big believer in this stuff. I was primed for it, when I was like a teenager and JFK came out, the Oliver Stone film. And he throws a bunch of stuff up against the wall in that film.
Yeah.
And it's a good example of how some people kind of get into these conspiracy theories, because they don't all really make sense. They don't all kind of support one unifying theme.
Sure.
A lot of them are just kind of like coincidences.
Well,
and it's like,
and also,
okay, but how does that fit into the larger picture?
And also, Oliver Stone, at the end of the day, was making a movie for entertainment, and so.
Oh, but he firmly believes this stuff, though.
Yeah, that's cool. But he's Oliver Stone, and when you're completely coked to the gills, you believe a lot of things.
That is true. But see, I didn't know this about him when I was an impressionable teenager, and all I'm seeing is the government. They had the means, they had the motive, right?
Right. Did you walk out of JFK and you were like, "Fuck this, man! I'm going to get to the bottom of this."
I went down a rabbit hole. Sure.
Wow.
Well, you heard, Trump signed the executive order to declassify the JFK, RFK, and MLK files.
Oh, really?
Supposedly, all of the documents were from CIA, FBI were going to be, released.
Oh.
Well, apparently now, like 2 days ago, they've apparently found new documents.
Oh, well.
That nobody knew about, that are now going to have to be reviewed and stop the documents that have supposedly, that were supposed to come out years ago.
Yeah.
So, just coincidentally, after this executive order was signed, now after all of this time, they're like, well, we got new stuff, and we're not really sure if.
That is a common tactic.
That just adds. Yes, that just adds to the conspiracy theorists. They're like, there's something there they don't want us to see, don't want us to know.
What I was hoping, after he signed that executive order, I was really hoping that the truth would finally come out, that it was, in fact, Ted Cruz's father that had something to do with the death of JFK.
Wouldn't that be perfect?
Trump declared that, right? Like 8 years ago, later. Didn't he say?
See, I was right.
No, I thought that was his dad was a serial killer or something.
Oh, okay. I thought he had associated him with JFK.
Well, yeah, JFK was the first victim.
He
was the first one.
You stop at the president? No.
No, this thing goes all the way up.
All the way. Hey, careful. We're going to end up on a list, guys.
That is one of my favorite quotes, too, when it comes to these conspiracy theories, especially when they're presented like in media. It's like you always hear someone go, this one goes all the way to the top.
Yes.
This one goes all the way to the top.
Well, that kind of speaks a little bit to the psychology, I think, when conspiracy theorists, people who really kind of go deep in, a lot of the QAnon stuff, where it's like beyond reasonable. The stuff we're talking about is like, all right, yeah, government's done some shady shit. I don't put it past, them to maybe attempt to kill the president they disagree with, levers of power. But when you get into the crazy stuff, that's when you realize that there's always somebody at the top, it seems, in these crazy. There's one guy, right, who's QAnon. He's the guy, and he's related to it all. Maybe he's Elvis. Who knows? But there's always somebody at the top, and I think that's it's a psychological thing, because we don't, as humans, want to believe that like the world is as chaotic as it is and can be. It makes us feel better to feel like there's some control on the universe. That's where a lot of religion comes from, right? So if you don't have religion, you've got the Illuminati, maybe, that there's some elite group of billionaires that control the world out of the Denver airport.
It's pronounced Cuccinati.
The Cuccinati. Ooh, that's right. Are you a member?
that's Oh, I've got a member. I'll show you. So Do you think that like after everybody do you think after Caesar's assassination there were like conspiracy theories? Like people are like, no, it wasn't Mark Antony. It was.
I think there have always been those type of speculations. I don't necessarily know if they were labeled conspiracy theories. In fact, there's a conspiracy theory about where a conspiracy theorist came from.
Oh.
And that goes back to JFK. Indeed.
Oh, wow.
The CIA wanted to downplay everybody who questioned the Warren Report, everybody who didn't believe the narrative. They tried to discredit them, and they came up with this title of conspiracy theorist to shame people and to get them to not, question, be embarrassed, kind of like a scarlet letter.
Yeah.
And of course, the CIA is like, oh no, it's been around since 1873, and they pulled some, document out where there was one reference of it. And it's like, well, yeah, okay. Yes, there was one written record of somebody calling somebody else a conspiracy theorist. But when you actively go out and, work with,
promote it,
news outlets, to push that narrative, that's a little different.
That's a good point.
A little different.
Well, joke's on them because people use it as a badge of honor nowadays.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah, guys, what is your favorite conspiracy theory? Not like a conspiracy theory you subscribe to, but what's like the one that entertains you the most?
I mean, the moon fake landing one, I get a lot of mileage out.
Yeah?
The fake moon landing,
Okay, so I want to come back to that one because I've got a second part to this question.
All right.
But so that one's your favorite one. Okay, go ahead and expand on that.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's fun. Again, it was one of those ones that I heard first growing up when I just, kind of assumed, we went to the moon already. We've been in space. And then to learn that there were people who didn't believe it. And at first, when you're a child who's taught to believe everything you're told, that doesn't make sense. How can there be alternate facts, right?
Wait, and you grew up a lot like I did, from like a Catholic upbringing, and that's kind of like how the Catholic religion works: is believe it because we're telling you that. Like
exactly,
well, it's not. I mean, it should be about faith, but the way we were taught, like 80s Catholicism, was do it or I'll fucking spank you. Like that is what 80s Catholicism was.
Yeah, a lot of blind faith.
Well, and I mean, even the conspiracy theory of religion.
Oh yeah.
I mean, is there a God? Can you prove there's a God? And not only that, but how many of the religions have the same type of story?
Oh,
exactly.
That are based on the same type of patterns.
Well, because Jason, God is actually an alien, and he came down a long time ago, and he spread his story.
That's right.
To all the people.
Right.
I've seen Stargate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I've seen Ancient Aliens on the History Channel. That's basically what it is, right?
Right.
I think my favorite conspiracy theory, kind of running close to Joel's, the one that I enjoy the most, is the flat Earth conspiracy, the flat Earthers.
Oh yes.
Because I think it's ridiculous because we have fucking proof. Like we have
it's
proof.
So easily provable.
Just look out your window at night and you see like
you ever
the
flown
moon.
anywhere?
You see planets. You could pull out like a telescope and you see roundness everywhere. And it's like, why would we be the one flat thing in the universe? But I like flat Earth the fact that there are people like athletes, famous athletes and celebrities, people that like
belief.
Truly believe that it's that the Earth is flat. I'm like, didn't we get past this with Columbus? We've gotten past this thing. Like people have flown around the world. Like this has happened. This is something that's easily provable, but there are still people like, no, it's flat. Okay, whatever.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and it's crazy that it's getting more popular.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's more credence to a flying spaghetti monster. I would be quicker to believe that, going back to religion, than a flat Earth. But how about you, Jason? What's your favorite one?
Well, I'll play devil's advocate.
Uh-oh.
With the flat earthers?
No, just with the whole perspective.
Okay.
You know how we were talking about earlier, we're only taught, we only believe what we are taught, and what is reinforced. And, there are very, very few people who have actually been outside the Earth's atmosphere.
True.
So I can see where there is a lot of doubt.
Yeah. Who can corroborate?
Right. But we also have these satellites and telescopes and, geosynchronous orbits and all of this other stuff. But there are also some pretty, eclipses. There's all of these things that, clearly point to, a sphere, a globe,
a lunar eclipse and just a square. It's like just covering the moon.
Well, and I mean, that could lead to, are we living in a simulation?
That's right.
If we are in a simulation, does it matter? I mean, does that do those physics matter?
Yeah.
Can they be faked at that point?
And now you're touching on the second part of my question. What is a conspiracy theory that you could see yourself kind of subscribing to if you weren't scared of what people would think about you? And so for me, there's two of them.
I got several.
And one of them is what Jason just mentioned, that we're living in a simulation. I could see that. I could totally see that we're living in somebody's experiment. And
absolutely.
Because there sometimes there are weird things that you can't explain. Things like when you think of something and then suddenly it happens. That's weird. You get those deja vu feelings.
The Matrix put too many thoughts in our minds about what is reality? What do we perceive as reality? Well, it's just like what you see and taste and touch. Well, then it's just impulses that are going in your brain. So it's like, who's controlling those? Right. And man, it really made me look at deja vu in a completely different way. I love that scene. Now I'm like, oh shit! Every time I have deja vu, it's like, they changed something in the Matrix.
Indeed,
they changed something.
Well, I mean, have you seen those the videos with the birds that are frozen in the air, and people are like, what the hell?
No.
Oh yeah. The birds, they're just hovering in the air, and people are like, what the hell's going on? Just weird glitches in the Matrix.
Yeah. What for some alien's dream?
Right. Who is the dreamer?
Mm-hmm.
It's the little handicap boy in St. Elsewhere. Remember?
That's right. You learned that, right? I do remember that. Which also reminds me of the end of Men in Black, which I always loved. That movie,
The Marble,
where exactly. It turns out we're all just some giant aliens plaything. Our universe is a marble.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, I don't think you're too far off there. If you look at hieroglyphs from different areas in the world around the same time. They have the same type of winged creatures with, mammalian heads,
dragons,
dragons, space people. Who knows?
I'm into that. I was watching a video about conspiracy theories, and apparently there's a 300-year gap in human history where historians can't really
pinpoint,
line it all up. Yeah, exactly. And to the point where, did we just invent 300 years out of nowhere because nothing lines up in this area? So that's kind of disconcerting, for the rest of humanity.
Right.
If the people we look to keep record of our existence, they're just losing a couple hundred years here and there.
Before there was such rapid communication and people really knew what was happening, maybe it took a week to figure out, who won an election, or little Timmy fell down the well and died, or whatever. And I think that's both a double-edged sword when it comes to these conspiracy theories.
Yes.
Because now we have split-second communication. You can go viral with something that can be completely and totally untrue or false, in a matter of moments, just because you can reach such a wider audience, than you could back in even, 2001.
Yeah.
And that's another conspiracy that has a lot of backing and a lot of support. Is we really don't know what happened, during 9/11.
Oh, you're talking about 9/11.
But, I mean, yeah, the internet was still kind of in its infancy.
That's true. We didn't even have HD back then. Think about that. All of our TVs were still standard definition in 2001.
Right.
Still tubes.
Oh yeah. Flip phones. There was no iPhone. CRT TVs. It was mostly dial-up modems. If you had internet access, it was typically through a modem that you actually had to connect to the service. Broadband was not a thing.
Oh yeah, you were only for the rich.
Yeah, and if it was like, you had a T1 or an ISDN line that required specialized equipment.
Exactly, yeah. There's no, even DSL was...
It was very expensive.
Rare.
Yes.
I do want to dive into 9/11, but before we get too far into that, one more point to be made just about what you're talking about, where social media and the internet culture is nowadays. The problem is there isn't really one voice of authority. There's one truth. And like you said, anybody can go online and make a claim, and the whole "I read it on the internet" meme. It's true because
exactly.
And I mean,
yes, it's true because I read it on the internet.
Exactly. And traditional media kind of did it to themselves. I think they got a little too big for their britches, realized the power they had over the masses, being with communication being limited. I'm talking about the invention of even the radio, but specifically television.
Yes.
Through the 60s and into the 90s.
Right. Well, I mean, if you've seen anything about Project Mockingbird,
what's that?
If you Google,
I love these project names.
Project Mockingbird. Go to YouTube and Google Project Mockingbird. Hold on, it is a creepy video, and it is basically 30 TV stations saying the exact same thing, word for
just
word.
Reading off a script.
I mean, it is,
and it's couched as an opinion piece.
It is programmed. Yes, but it's all about squashing disinformation, and we would never lie to you. And it's it is the if you scream it loud enough and long enough, it's true. But they were all from different networks. All it was just when you hear them over each other. The exact same inflection, tone,
the same copy points.
Yeah, it's just
they all have the same script.
Crazy. Yeah, absolutely. And there's another diagram out there that somebody did, and it shows that over the past 30, 40 years, actually probably now 60 years, the control of the media has shrunk.
Oh yeah, just a handful of billionaires now.
Yeah, you used to have 10 or 15 different outlets, and now you have the illusion of having 10 or 15 different choices. But if you go back one more level, you really only have 6
parent companies. Exactly. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And whatever their bias is going to be that. Yeah. Those umbrellas, they're going to have the same bias.
So I don't really blame people and conspiracy theorists, if we want to use that derisive term, for kind of buying into a lot of this stuff, because we've been lied to before. We don't know what to believe, and when somebody posits a plausible alternative, I'm open to listening to hear what people have to say, especially if it has to do with a Mothman. Or Area 51, or some of the more supernatural conspiracy theories. But we can get back to 9/11.
Yeah,
or Bigfoot.
Well, actually, I was going to say I have a list of why I don't trust the government.
Oh, let's hear it.
And these are all conspiracy theories that came true.
Oh yeah. Ooh, I got some of those on my list.
The Tuskegee syphilis experiment.
I was
Yep.
Just going to say that one. My favorites, if you could say there's a favorite.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
That is a big one. And, I hate to say it, but if there is any reason why you should question what the government tells you to do,
oh, yeah,
it is that. It is that right there.
The last survivor of that just died in like 2004. Like, this isn't something that was like, I mean, it had been going on for decades, but
yeah,
it had been. It wasn't until
for 40 years.
Yeah, I think Clinton was the first one who like apologized for it formally,
right?
Back in the 90s.
Yeah, but I mean, that would never happen. I mean, we would never do that, right? Our government would never harm our own citizens, right?
Well, it's not too far from. Wasn't it the Native Americans? Didn't we give them like blankets with smallpox on them? Smallpox. Yeah, that's another one too.
Yeah,
that's fun. The humors are just horrible.
Yeah. The next is the MK Ultra. The mind control experiment.
Oh, I love that beer.
Yeah.
MK Ultra.
Or was that Mortal Kombat?
That was
the DLC.
Yeah, that was the
Kombat?
crossover with Street Fighter.
MK Ultra.
Yes, Mortal Kombat LSD edition.
No, now fill me in because I'm a little unfamiliar with that one. Joe, do you know about this one?
It's the like kind of the what is it, like people sleeper agents that they're hypnotized and like given trigger words that like unlock their or whatever their training.
Like Manchurian Candidate stuff, huh?
Kind of like that. That led to the Manchurian Candidate stuff. What they were trying to do was find a truth serum or something that could affect a person rapidly and make them kind of fall apart, mentally. So they could target.
We have alcohol for that, but sure.
Well, I mean, quicker acting than alcohol, and they wouldn't realize that they had taken it. And that's where the experimentation with LSD came in.
Yeah,
is because most people who don't realize they're tripping are going to have a bad trip.
Yeah.
There's a difference between knowing you're going to be tripping and then all of a sudden just tripping. They experimented on each other without telling one another.
No.
There's a very famous example. This one of the agents that was in this group of agents that were working on this project, they dosed him with like 30 times what a normal person would be dosed with, and he ended up like jumping out a window. And they covered it up and all sorts of stuff, but that's where you get like Stranger Things. Stranger Things is that's MK Ultra. The Manchurian Candidate, that's all MK Ultra.
Is that like the group is that like the CIA or something? Is that what they call themselves? It's like Men in Black, MK Ultra.
That was
it's the code name.
Yeah, the program name.
There's a fun movie with Jesse Eisenberg, which people don't often say. There's a fun movie with Jesse Eisenberg called American Ultra that kind of plays around with the whole MK Ultra thing.
Oh.
It's worth worth you checking out. It's fun. It's fiction.
I'd heard of that, but I didn't realize it was a tie-in.
It kind of gave me my like layman's education on MK Ultra.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, good movie.
As long as we're talking government conspiracies, that this one's more of a business conspiracy, but I think they were in cahoots with the government about the catalytic converter. You guys know about this story? I found out about this. There was a movie that came out a few years ago. Soderbergh? Is that guy's name? Steven Sondheim? I always get him confused with the
Soderbergh.
Like
Steven
there you go.
Sondheim?
Yeah, not the composer.
He's the reason people are stealing catalytic converters.
That's right. This is my conspiracy I'm inventing right now.
Damn it, Sondheim!
Holy shit!
No, the catalytic converter apparently, according to this movie, was something that was suppressed. If you don't know what the catalytic converter is, it
helps the environment.
It helps the environment, helps limits
emissions.
Yeah. Thank you. And the technology was invented like 20 years before it became mandatory. And it was the car industry in cahoots with the government that killed it, suppressed it, and hid papers about its invention until later on. And there was a whole lawsuit and they were sued and finally had to pay reparations. And now something that's required on every vehicle to help save our environment was something that was hidden from us.
That's not surprising.
Anyway, it was a fun movie. Check it out if you want to learn
It's a fun movie.
about how the government screws us and capitalism is evil.
Capitalism is evil.
Directed by Stephen Sondheim.
Do you think Area 51 is a thing? Do you think there are aliens and that they're hiding in Area 51?
Yeah, see that stuff.
Absolutely.
Well, so here's my kind of general rule of thumb as far as conspiracy theories go. I generally don't believe the ones that, as I mentioned before, there's like somebody at the top. There's one guy, or there's the Illuminati, or there's like a group where there's like a group of people or a company or something controlling things just for the sake of control. Mm-hmm. But I do believe the conspiracy theories where there's something to be had, whether it's money or power or
technology.
Technology, exactly. When humans are given the opportunity to be the worst version of themselves for profit or power or whatever, we do take that
without repercussion.
Exactly. Yes. That's the big thing. So I believe stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But 9/11 falls into the category of who benefits, and it's way too big for that to have been a conspiracy, in my opinion. Jason, you sound like maybe you disagree.
I had always been a fan of like UFOs and aliens, and going back to Area 51, mm-hmm. Bob Lazar, reverse engineering, the UFOs and all of this stuff.
Sure.
I was working at Earthlink during 9/11. We were
the internet service provider.
Yep, internet service provider. The days and weeks after that, I think, really turned me into not just there are aliens, there are other things out there other than us, magic kind of things or whatever, mm-hmm. To the government is evil, and they do not have our best interests in mind. And they will do anything in their power to make sure that what they want happens. And there's a really good video, and it's called 9/11 Explained in 5 Minutes. I encourage everybody to go watch it. It is not hyperbole. It is very cut and dry on the events that took place. And how
does it take you through just the events of the day, or like is it have a wider context?
Yeah, it's a lighter context. It's very condensed, but I mean it is basically the narrative that the government tried to push, just like the Warren Commission with JFK.
Oh, right.
It is just the main points of why weren't they transparent? What were they trying to hide? Questions on the plane that hit the Pentagon. Was it a plane? Was it a missile? There's varying things.
That's a good point. You know what? And that's one that I could get behind. Like, I definitely think there's a 50% chance that the government maybe had to take down one of those planes when they thought it was going to be headed toward. We don't know what happened on the one in Pennsylvania.
Right.
Like we are told this folk story about all the heroes on board that rose up against the guy, but
right. It was
all we have is some video recordings, and Jason X seems pretty confident that it was shot down. And maybe now that kind of stuff I'm willing to get behind.
Right.
Humans reacting to situations or taking advantage of situations, like I totally. It does seem obvious in hindsight that we took advantage of 9/11
yes.
as a pretext to do some other thing that we've been wanting to do for a while,
yes.
but didn't really have a good excuse to. So,
yes.
hey, everybody out of the pool.
Yep.
It's game on now.
Right.
But the event itself is where I draw the line. I do not think that. I think it's as simple as what happens and what we all saw with our eyes, even in standard def.
I would.
Joe is conspicuously silent about this. Are you there still, Joe? Have you left us?
No, he's been eaten by the cat.
Joe's gone.
You told him
Joe's
to let the
dealing with
cat
the cat.
in. He let the cat in. The cat killed him.
I'm sorry, guys. I forgot I had muted my mic so that you wouldn't hear the cat. And so, like, I'm trying to talk back to you, and I'm like, what the hell? Why can't they hear me?
Oh,
We're just ignoring you, Joe.
I'm like, why aren't they responding?
sorry about that. But
No,
please.
no, but
dive in, Joe.
I will say, like, I do think the Pentagon, and just to go back to the 9/11, the Pentagon, I think that plane was definitely shot down. The thing is, like, I know the second plane rammed into a bit. Like, I watched it happen while the news coverage was going on. I watched that happen, and a lot of people watched it happen.
Sure.
So I don't know. I mean, I can't speak to what actually was happening in the plane when that was happening. But I do think that the Pentagon one was shot down because when you start getting into sensitive airspace like that, like, they have very few options.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can't just let the plane keep going. It can't keep going its course. We've got to do something.
Yeah, right. The Pentagon always seemed like a weird target for them anyway. Like, who even knows what the Pentagon is outside of the U.S.?
And
like, what kind of message does that send?
And that was the thing is you guys know, and if you look at that video, it kind of details this just a little bit. But on September 10th, Donald Rumsfeld, announced that he was missing $2.3 trillion in the Pentagon budget.
The budget office.
Well,
Wow.
Guess where the missile hit? The Pentagon budget office.
Oh. See, that's okay. There's enough of this stuff that's like just plausible enough, but when you start looking for connections, like how much of this is like, you're a hammer looking for a nail. Like, we can find coincidences. Like, no, I'm not going to scrub the reputation of one Donald Rumsfeld from history, but
no, he did that up for himself.
Yes, exactly. But rest in peace, Donald Rumsfeld.
No. No peace there.
No peace. Yeah.
Maybe I'll watch your video.
Yeah, I would highly.
I will keep an open mind.
Yeah, I'll send you a link. Again, it's 5 minutes.
It's too long.
It's too long. It's too long.
Can I watch it in double time?
Right, for a national tragedy, 5 minutes, too long.
Joel's the guy that when he watches Schindler's List, he skips to the end.
Come on.
Too long. The end, right?
Let's get past the fluff.
Doesn't fast forward go any faster?
Let's get to the part. It's called Saving Private Ryan. It takes us an hour and a half just to find Private Ryan. Can we just?
There's. I would be less convinced that there wasn't anything nefarious if, like, we didn't arm our own enemies. Like, there are pictures of Osama bin Laden in the White House. He's
yes.
He was used as an asset against the Russians.
Yes.
The money, the weapons, the training, that was all.
It was all an operation.
That was all.
And that was Rambo 3. That was that whole thing. We were siding with Afghanistan against the Russians.
That's right. The enemy of our enemy is our friend until they're not.
Yes, indeed. There's some really crazy stuff. If you really start digging.
But again, I'm not saying that that didn't happen and then come around and bite us in the ass.
Right.
Like, karma's a bitch that way. But I don't think that means that we were also involved in 9/11.
Well,
we just kind of created this monster and lost control of it.
Right. But never let a good disaster go to waste.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, if they. Like, Pearl Harbor, and speaking of conspiracies, Pearl
let's hear this
Harbor,
one. I don't know this one.
There's speculation that we knew that the Japanese Zeros were coming, but
and let it happen.
They let it happen in order to bring us into the war because we needed the war to
drum up support,
boost the economy.
Wow.
There's.
I definitely would believe something like that, yes.
So, is it hard to believe that maybe the CIA got wind that, they were planning something and, again, they took it to the higher ups and they were like, hey, check this out. And they were like, we've always wanted to go into Iraq and we have this, 15,000 page Patriot Act bill that we need to get pushed through somehow. that limits freedom and allows us to spy and do all of this other stuff that nobody's going to be able to read in the time to vote on it. Let's just let it happen. Plausible deniability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we benefit from it. And I think they passed the Patriot Act unanimously in like 3 days or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's a 15,000 page bill.
I have a
How
hard
can
time.
you read that?
I have a hard time believing that they knew what the targets were though, and going okay
Right.
because there's a lot of money in New York. There's a lot of that creates financial instability, striking the heart of New York, striking the World Trade Center. That's a little. I feel like if that were to be true, that got out of hand and out of somebody's control real quick.
Right.
Well, I mean, but I mean, I can see war is big business.
Yes.
So I do see allowing things to happen. It's wag the dog. I see I can see someone going hey, let's do this. It's convenient justification, and like you said, plausible deniability to get us somewhere that's going to benefit this area.
Yes.
Yes, that is a higher form of chess than I'm equipped to be able to play.
Right.
But I it doesn't mean that I think it's beyond the realm of reality.
Right.
Well, if 9/11 was an inside job, I don't feel like the benefit was worth what we lost.
Yeah.
Overall,
there would be some people who have made a lot of money. I would disagree.
but it can't just all come down to money.
It does.
And my thing though is the operation. How do you keep that many people quiet? That's the other thing about humans. These are all run by humans, and I don't trust humans to be able to shut up.
Right.
There's always a whistleblower. There's always somebody. So it's the wider your pool of co-conspirators is,
right,
the harder it is, and someone's going to flip.
Well, that's why you silence them all and mark them enemies of the state. I mean, if I'm going to play devil's advocate, you mark the group enemies of the state, and you rush in and you kill them under cover of night with your SEAL Team 6. I don't know, but
yeah.
I could see where that could be a thing. But at the same time, I also agree with you, Joel. Humans ultimately will leak information. Someone will talk, something will happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was puts, stock puts on, I think it was United and American, the two airlines that were used in the attack. Those puts ended up being worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. And the puts were basically saying, hey, the stock is going to go lower after this date.
Puts is a funny word.
It is.
Yeah. Puts.
Yeah. But they were purchased a couple days before 9/11. A lot of them.
I mean, every now and then somebody gets lucky. I'm sure somebody won some money on the Super Bowl betting Eagles 40-22. That doesn't mean that he was in on it and he had the Chiefs throw the game so he could win a bunch of money. It just means something unprecedented happened, and there's a coincidence that somebody benefited from it.
Yeah,
that's very true. But that is a pretty damn coincidental thing.
All right. Well, the world's a magical place. I'm
world's a magical place.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm leaving all possibilities open.
What dismissive statement!
Every once in a while, you roll that D20.
I'm saying I'm leaving my mind open. This episode is to broaden our horizons, right? Consider things we hadn't considered before.
Yeah.
Things like maybe the Titanic actually didn't hit an iceberg.
Absolutely.
Maybe the iceberg hit the Titanic.
Oh, you saw that one.
Rose up out of the sea. Yeah, that was the one I saw.
Now, which conspiracy theory are you on with the Titanic, Joel? Is that it was the Olympia?
No.
And it was sunk for tax purposes, or was it to usher in the IRS?
Neither. This was a rival that planted a bomb in the Titanic so that it would fail. Yeah, a rival businessman, whoever the rival would have been to whoever built the Titanic. I'm not sure the details.
Alexander Fuzzywig. I have planted the bomb. Twirling mustache. I have planted the bomb in the Titanic.
Exactly. Well, yeah, a lot of these conspiracy theories kind of come down to that. But like we said at the beginning, there's always like one kernel of truth,
Right.
and that's all it takes.
You know, my favorite part of the Titanic is when the guy falls off when the ship is falling and he hits the propeller
And he flips.
Yeah.
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 I remember seeing that in theaters and just kind of being caught up in the tragedy. But then when that happened, I was like, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, this is kind of cool. Yeah. Absolutely.
That guy flipped around. They didn't have to do that, but some CGI artist had fun with that.
Very creative, you know. Artistic liberties taken.
That's right. Joe, I was going to throw to you and see if there's any other conspiracy theories that we haven't mentioned yet. Maybe a favorite of yours?
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, yes.
I love the whole conspiracy theory about Bigfoot. I think there is a Sasquatch.
Yeah?
Dude, it's such a weirdly random thing that people are like totally together on. Like, yeah, there's Bigfoot. Bigfoot's out there. Like, okay, I'm in for this. I think this is great.
I mean, that Zapruder film like footage we saw, you know, of him walking into the forest that has been lampooned in movies like Elf now. Yeah, I saw that, and that's the first one where I was like, "Holy shit! Like, is that a real Bigfoot?"
Yeah.
Has that one been debunked as just a guy in a suit?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I know others have. Other people have been trying to make fake Bigfoot videos for a long time now. But I think that one
like
still a mystery.
Nessie's been debunked. I know Nessie's not real,
Yeah,
but like
not
Bigfoot.
buying Nessie.
Oh, yeah.
I just feel like with all the cameras we have now.
Yeah, I think it would have been on somebody's trail cam.
That's another thing too about conspiracy theories. Like, it's really hard to kind of talk yourself out of one. Like I got into remote viewing. A buddy of mine got me into remote viewing. Just the concept of it.
That is something I was going to bring up.
Remote viewing, yeah.
Yes.
Is that something that you believe in as well?
So there are declassified CIA documents that go into detail on how to remote view. And there's also, have you heard of HemiSync?
I have not.
That thing got a Hemi?
That's exactly what my mind goes.
The truck, right? No, it's a Cummins. If you're into that whole remote viewing thing, and you find that very interesting, you should look up HemiSync,
Okay.
and that's another one of the CIA classified, declassified, blah blah blah.
Of course,
but it's basically it uses different tones and frequencies to put you into a trance-like state.
Yeah.
So you can astral project or remote view.
Yeah.
And it was classified.
Go to the upside down.
Yes, it was classified for many, many, many years. But that's very neat. What are your thoughts on remote viewing and things like that?
Well, I guess I was familiar with that program. I didn't know the name of it, but I'm mostly familiar with a dude named John Edwards, not the failed presidential candidate from the early aughts, but the one that had a show on, was a Sci-Fi Channel, I guess.
The one that would do like the quick reads on people.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Maybe I'm confusing him with somebody else.
Be like, I'm thinking of a J. I'm thinking of someone with the name of J.
Yeah, that's what his name was, right?
Yeah, I think his name was John Edwards.
Is that the guy I'm thinking of? There's some famous remote viewer.
He was like a shyster, though. He was a shyster.
Oh, yeah, he's total fucking con man, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust that guy as far as I could throw him, as my dad would say.
In fact, I think they made fun of him on South Park.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. They had a whole episode about like, it's all fake, Cartman. Like it's not real.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just to wrap up our Sasquatch / Loch Ness Monster conspiracy theories, I like the Mothman one. Have you guys heard about the Mothman one from, I think, back in the 50s?
But isn't that around the same time as Bat Boy, too? There was Mothman and Bat Boy.
That was the one from the 80s at like the New York Post.
From the Inquirer?
Well, yeah, that was...
Or no, the Examiner or something.
Yeah.
That was... Okay, so...
Daily News.
Were those things published like tongue-in-cheek, like, guys, this is just for entertainment? Or were those things actually published to, like...
Well...
convince people like this is stuff that's going on?
If you believe Men in Black, it's the most hard-hitting journalism there is.
I don't. You keep referencing Men in Black,
Great
and
film.
it makes me know that like you like that movie way more than I did.
What? It's a masterpiece, dude. Perfect film.
A masterpiece.
It really is. It can be launched into space.
Oh my gosh. It should be launched into space along with a Tesla. Yes.
That's right. Humans, other aliens will know our graceness.
Swastikar.
Swastikar. He's so upset. Don't call it that. My goodness.
I'm surprised we haven't gotten into more political ones than we could have.
Well, I mean, I think some of the stuff, like a lot of the stuff that we've talked about have been political, but, I'm surprised that we haven't talked about like the conspiracy theories to a lesser degree, the everyday conspiracy theories. And that's like in the form of, and this kind of brings it back home to like our, if you want to say our sweet spot, like movie predictions. Like when like
Simpsons and stuff.
When Marvel, especially Marvel at its height, when people are like, this is what's going to happen in the next movie. Like, we got a trusted source says this is what's going to be happening in the next Marvel movie. Like, we're going to see this and this in Deadpool and Wolverine. We're going to see this guy and this dude. And, the Star Wars movies, we're going to see this. Oh, we're finally going to see Darth Bane. Like just all this stuff. That's like a whole other level to a lesser degree, but it's like, it's also conspiracy theories. It kind of comes from the same place. Like people make stuff up and then like they keep saying it over and over again that they start to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes those things become so popular that they end up becoming real, like in the zeitgeist. Like they end up making it happen.
I got a video game version of that from Street Fighter 2, which was that was it Shang Tsung? No, Akuma. Is it Akuma from Street Fighter? I just remember
Akuma. That
started off as somebody photoshopping what would look like a Polaroid of somebody playing Street Fighter 2 with this I can't remember what the character looked like. It looked like it was like a black Ryu or something, right? Or Ryu.
Yeah, he
draped in black.
He wore like orange. I thought he wore orange, but
it was like a color swap basically, where it was just plausible enough, and it was like, oh, it's this secret boss. If you beat M. Bison this certain way, Akumi will come out and you can fight him. And I remember looking at that, examining that Polaroid like it was a Zapruder film.
Absolutely.
That's one of those things that it ended up being false, but then they worked that character into the Street Fighter series, so it was kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Well, didn't they do the same with Mortal Kombat with Smoke
Noob Saibot?
Noob Saibot. Well, Noob Saibot was real, but then other people were saying that there was also Smoke, and then all of a sudden, Smoke, he was a playable character in like Mortal Kombat 3 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Reptile.
Yeah, Reptile. Yeah.
We've talked about this one before. It relates to Final Fantasy VI, where there was the big conspiracy, the rumor that went around that like there's a character that you team up with temporarily in the game named General Leo, and he ends up dying. And
was he a racist?
No, nope. Not at all. But he was blonde-haired and blue-eyed. No, so the theory was that if at the end, near the end of the game, when you got close to the end game, if you leveled up all your characters to 99 and you got all of them to learn every one of the spells and you went back to General Leo's grave, you could resurrect him and use him at the end of the game. And so I did that. And Final Fantasy VI has like 13 playable characters that I had to level up to 99. Yeah, you had to find the hidden characters, level them up. They had to learn everything. So I finally fucking did it. And I go to General Leo's grave, and when that motherfucker didn't come back to life,
oh no!
I was so pissed. I was pissed until I went to the last boss of the game and beat him in fucking 5 seconds.
Oh, I bet.
Then it made it. I was like, okay, so this is all right. There's a positive to this, I guess.
Yeah, there was a lesson to be learned.
Yeah.
That's funny. Let's see. What do we do? Do we do COVID? Have we talked about COVID yet?
No.
Do we want to go there?
I'm not sure we need to.
Look, the only thing I'll say is I don't think it was planned, but I do think it's an awful coincidence that the place that it popped up just happens to be within throwing distance of a facility where they were testing on bats, and this came from bats. So
right.
I'm no scientist, but yeah,
it's hard to deny that,
I do not think it was leaked intentionally, though. That's where I draw the line again. Because again, what's the benefit?
I don't think it was leaked intentionally. I think there was just some irresponsibility going on. Like something happened, someone was irresponsible with it, and to save face, it turned into this whole like, oh no, it came from
Birds.
here, not this. It came from birds. No, it escaped from the lab.
Yeah, probably.
And people, in an effort to try to keep people from panicking, they tried to downplay it. And then what happens? Shit gets out of hand, and it ends up spreading. And then suddenly it's like, uh-oh, well, we've already said this. We got to stick to our guns on this story.
Sure, yeah. Right. And it's the Chinese government, too. Like, they're never going to back down. Like, it's just like they'll stonewall you with that lie forever.
Exactly.
Well, I think another, large part of that conspiracy is why were we mutating those viruses?
Clearly to weaponize a disease, yeah.
Oh, yes.
And this kind of goes back to don't let a good emergency or a good disaster go to waste.
Sure.
There was a lot of people that benefited from COVID.
Yes. But were they in on it, or did they just take advantage of the situation?
Right. Now I do believe that there are culpable parties that knew more than they were saying, knew more than they were giving to the public.
Yeah, you got to protect the lie.
Yes, and there was a narrative there that they had to push.
Yeah,
and that's why the internet is kind of a double-edged sword. The internet never forgets, and you can go back and find all of these clips of all of these talking heads and people that get paid very, very large amounts of money that are basically lying now that everything has run its course.
Yeah.
And there will be how much damage did that cause to generations that didn't get to grow up like a normal child.
I know.
What did that do to the education system? What did that do to
we're seeing the results.
Yes, to the workforce. Absolutely. We're going to be suffering through that for years to come. Even though we've rebounded, there is still. I mean,
not to mention the countless lives that were lost.
Yes,
as part of this.
Of course. It's never a great thing when people die, but there are tragedies every day.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's certain communities get hit harder than others. There's earthquakes, volcanoes, floods. Bigfoots,
that's right. Loch Ness monster.
And if
aliens, anything could kill you,
right? And if you want to go down another conspiracy theory rabbit hole,
I do.
If either of you guys have heard of HARP, the High Altitude Auroral Research Project,
now
basically.
Does it have to do with like controlling weather and seeding clouds and all that
stuff? Yes. It's not quite Jewish space lasers, but it's getting there very quickly. Yes, that's all DARPA related.
Yeah. This has happened. Like there's documented cases where we have done this and tried to do this and successfully done this. And what we don't know is what don't we know about? What's version 2.0 that the military has that they're using to experiment?
Right. Well, you've seen
Yes, that's right. That's what's coming, huh?
I mean, that started out as they were trying to dim global warming or the radiation from the sun, and then they did it too much.
Took it too far.
Indeed. And you start looking at some of these fires that have broke out, like Maui.
Oh yeah, I know.
Did you notice that the houses with the blue roofs didn't burn?
Oh no, really?
Yeah, anything that was blue didn't really burn.
Why?
Apparently, blue reacts differently under lasers.
So those fires were set intentionally.
That's what they're Yeah, because all of that
That's what they're for.
all of that property is very, very, very valuable, and they've wanted to make smart cities for a very, 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 very long time. And
So then, are these independent companies that are doing this? Is this the government
I
involved
think
in
it's
this?
BlackRock.
The government with independent contractors.
It's just like the Death Star.
Yes, you need plumbers. I mean, you're gonna need plumbers. You're gonna need electricians.
Yeah.
It's
Big
big shit.
operation.
Big.
You think a 5-star general knows how to put in a toilet main?
That's a good point. Salient point. But the end goal.
End goal is to take the property away from the people.
Yeah. And to redevelop it.
Yep,
It's what we've always done.
indeed.
I mean,
It's what we're best at.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we just did it with lasers instead of smallpox blankets this time.
That's why we're taking the Gaza Strip now.
I was just gonna say that's it's on the menu.
Hey, I really do want to visit Gaza Buc-ee's.
The Gaza Buc-ees.
Oh God. Get your Trump branded T-shirts,
My God.
socks.
Beaver nuggets. He's getting beaver nuggets.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
I hear they're going to have a great BLT.
See, well, so there you go. That's a good conspiracy theory because you pointed
Palestinian
to.
pastrami on rye.
No, you pointed to there's a reason, there's a motive, and if somebody has the means and there's profit to be seen, then yeah, humans have done worse, right? So why not?
Absolutely.
And if we didn't have all this fluoride in the water, maybe we would be smart enough to see all these things coming a mile away. But
Well,
no, government's keeping us dumb with fluoride.
Hey, you know what that means for me, Joe? No
was
more
that?
no more Mountain Dew.
no more
Oh,
Mountain
no.
Dew.
Yeah, I mean, like if they ban all of these chemicals and crap, I mean that's half of what Mountain Dew is.
Oh my gosh.
Well, they don't need Mountain Dew when they've got 5G.
True.
You know, they've got 5G flooding everywhere, so that's how it's working now.
Got to pump up those
my
brain
God.
waves with 5G.
The COVID vaccine.
Oh my God.
Just so I feel like we're wrapping up here. We're getting at the end of our conspiracy theory talk. I just have a few more that we didn't mention on here that I thought were fun that I came across in my research. One being that Taylor Swift is a cyborg.
Oh yes.
She has to be.
Don't have a lot of hard evidence for that.
She has
but,
to be.
Not going to say no. Yeah.
Oh.
I do like. There's always this. Speaking of Men in Black again, one of the ideas of Men in Black was that like a lot of these celebrities, these weird kooky celebrities like Michael Jackson and Elvis Presley were actually aliens that have just either gone home.
David
or,
Bowie. Yeah, David Bowie is an alien.
Yeah,
Power
David
man.
Bowie. I'll believe that.
I want to believe that because I don't want to believe that he's dead.
Right.
Like I
Elvis?
can't. No, David Bowie.
Oh,
Well, I mean, everything went to shit after he died. I mean, you realize
Yep.
that, right?
Him and Alan Rickman.
he was the seventh seal.
Him. So it was like it was a trifecta. It was like Prince, but David Bowie and Alan Rickman.
Mm.
And you can even maybe I think throw in Carrie Fisher around that same time too.
Oh,
It was like
yeah.
like they all knew. Like they all knew they got called back on the mothership because shit was about to go down.
It's time
Right.
to. It's like the dolphins from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh yeah, so long and
So
thanks for
long.
all the fish.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, Taylor Swift is a cyborg. We're living in the Matrix. Elvis is actually in witness protection. Not that he's an alien, but that he was part of the CIA. And see, this is one of these things where it kind of comes from a little bit of fact. He actually was kind of fascinated with the CIA, and they did use him. He had some connections. So
Really?
not a far cry to think that maybe he's part of the witness protection program now.
Mm.
What else?
Did we touch on like the weird like leap in like ungodly leap in advancement in technology in like the 90s? Because things really like jump started like
Yes.
as far as like phones and TVs and all this like all these.
So you're thinking like
Well, yeah, like the devices, like getting devices in our pockets that can like track us and do these things. But then like you spin it and make it look like it's a phone. It's an entertainment device. You've got apps, but like it tracks us. Like
Oh, yeah,
these things are
absolutely.
like they've tagged our ears,
Well, that's
and it happened real fast.
I mean, see, I'm always like, for me, like capitalism is always the least common denominator with all these things. Like, there's money to be made by tracking our whereabouts for advertising or whatever, selling our information. Yeah, I totally buy that stuff, of course.
Absolutely.
I don't even think that's much of a conspiracy anymore.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about like the technology being like alien technology, is that what you're positing, Joe? That like all of a sudden we got a crashed UFO in 1990 and we've been using it to power cell phones?
Yes, they touched on it in that first Transformers movie.
Also, Men in Black,
where they're like, where do you think we got this technology? You know, we've been mimicking Megatron all these years, and it's like, I could kind of see that, because it's like our parents. Our parents were idiots when it came to technology. Like, how did we leap so quickly? Like, and we talked about this, Joel, on like the beginning of this pod. We've talked about like how our generation is kind of unique because we got to see like this weird leap in technology where we went from like Atari 2600 to PlayStation 5 in a relatively short amount of time, where it's like, wow, things really advanced quickly when you compare that to like the 30 years before that.
Yes. And all advancements in human technology were really kind of ramping up here.
Oh, absolutely.
We've got that hockey stick on the chart. I mean, you're right. It could be, again, not to bring it back to Men in Black, but that's one of the ideas they had there too, that Velcro was an alien invention. And you know what? I fucking buy that too, because Velcro has always been like really mysterious and magical to me. It doesn't make sense. Does not make sense. I can't, nobody's been able to explain it to me. So now I do think it is alien technology.
Yeah.
Thank you, Men in Black.
Nice.
Velcro and magnets.
My education.
Magnets. How do they work?
You guys have any other honorable mentions before we wrap this episode up?
I've got a couple. And
go for it.
One of these tags on to what you said, Joel, about Taylor Swift being a clone.
Yeah. Or, cyborg is what I read.
Cyborg.
I'll take
cloned rappers and celebrities.
I love this one.
Influential people or rappers, influential people in specific cultures that have been basically killed and replaced.
Examples?
So they have control over the message that they're spreading. And it doesn't have to be just rappers. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the famous clip where Katy Perry was glitching on stage and her eye kept twitching.
The lizard people effect. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. You know what he's talking about, Joe? There's a bunch of clips of people on TV. Like their eyes are having like lizard, like a second.
No.
Oh yeah. Go to YouTube and do Katy Perry eye twitch.
Okay.
I have done a little background research on this, and I'm pretty sure it's all like compression artifacts from the video compressors they're using.
No. Like she goes and she touches her eye to try and reset it, and it doesn't.
What?
I mean, yeah.
Katy Perry eye twitch.
I'm looking this up right now.
Oh no.
I mean, it's real bizarre, and I mean, I guess it could be eyelashes, or that nervous twitch, or stress, or whatever. But it looks very bizarre.
Oh my god, I'm seeing freeze frames of it. That looks horrible. That looks like a bad.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Look, she could have a medical condition that's causing that. She just has really long fake lashes.
Absolutely, so. It's called clone.
Or she could be a lizard person. Yes, exactly.
A lizard person.
Cloned lizard person. I like that one.
Or it could be like a Botox thing too. Like she just
the nerves,
lost feeling in her. Yeah,
that could be.
I don't know. That's so weird though. It's weird to watch it,
isn't it?
Yeah, that's odd.
And you can find clips of other people doing that, just glitching out. So I mean, we're talking about the technology that came in the early 90s. When you're talking about like we were talking before about Area 51, there's lots of people that have come out of the CIA and all of these NSA, all of the three-letter agencies that have worked in all of these crazy projects that have said, the technology that we have now is 30 years behind what they have at these research facilities, Area 51, or any of the deep underground bases. So imagine what they have now.
Right. Yep. They're always ahead.
Yes. So I lean more plausible on that, just with the whole trying to control society, manipulate,
Sure.
the public opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw Terminator 2. That's how we got our technology.
Indeed, right?
Dude, the only thing better than these, I'm sorry, I don't, the only thing better than these videos are the comments. These comments are fantastic.
You're watching the Katy Perry Twitch video.
She accidentally connected to McDonald's Wi-Fi.
Well, all right.
Katie, something's wrong with my eye. The IT department, have you tried turning it off and on again?
That's great.
All right. Well, unless anybody else, do you got more? Go for it, Jason.
Yeah, I got two more.
All right.
So Tesla, Nikola Tesla, not
yes,
not the car or Musk.
Yes,
but
I know this
Tesla,
one.
Or the band.
person. I think that we were misled on just about everything about him.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Incredible. I mean, if you have read anything about what he was doing, it is literally insane what our world could be like.
He was talking about like free electricity, like just it's abundant in the air.
Yes, he was able to generate electricity out of thin air. But that wouldn't keep people slaves.
Yes. Well, or more importantly, like it's just like everybody wanted to have a kind of a monopoly on that technology. See, I always again go to like the human basic greed and capitalism as the enemies.
Indeed. Well, I mean, if people have to continue to send money to you, they are pretty much your slave.
That's true.
It's a debt slave.
Yeah. Of course.
When your house is required to have power from the power company, not power that you create, but it has to be connected to the grid in order for you to get insurance and live in the house.
Oh, I mean, the kind of stuff you're talking about is like what Big Pharma does too, where it's like, oh yeah, we've got the cure to AIDS, but we're going to hide it behind a paywall, or we're going to restrict its access so that we can this false scarcity, so we can charge more for it. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But there's lots of very, very interesting things about Tesla that, you could fall down a rabbit hole for many, many years. And
if you've ever seen The Prestige, that's what I know about Nikola Tesla. Everything I learned is from The Prestige. David Bowie.
Played by David Bowie.
Yeah, there you go. We did a
right?
broad background. All right, Jason, let's hear one more, buddy.
My last one is the Grand Canyon being connected somehow to Egypt.
Oh,
or that they have found relics in the Grand Canyon that are from Egypt.
It caused bad luck, and like the Brady Bunch, they ended up getting injured and stuff.
That's right. And then the tarantula crawled on them in bed. I saw
that's
that episode.
Right.
That's not a conspiracy theory. That's a TV show.
It's a TV show. Right?
Now, how could it be connected to Egypt? Like through the Earth? Because I have heard that whole hollow Earth conspiracy as well.
Yeah, hollow Earth. I mean, and we didn't really touch on Egypt too much, or the pyramids. But there's conspiracy theories that they were much more technologically advanced than we give them credit for.
Yeah.
The precision that they've made these statues. I've got two really incredible documentaries about the pyramids, and these architects coming and saying how well designed they are, and that they couldn't replicate that today.
Yeah.
With laser levels, and not being able to slide a piece of paper in between the joining of the stones, and it's mortarless.
The fact that we can't like agree on how they were made.
Yes.
Yeah. Even now today.
Absolutely. So did they have some type of energy? Some type of portal, teleportation.
Stargate.
They were the landing pads for the ships.
Right. Well, I mean, if you look, and that's what one of these documentaries was saying is, if you look at the path of some of these sites like Easter Island and
Thanksgiving Island. St. Patrick's Day Island.
Names. Yeah, no. St. Patrick's Island, right? But it's all of these ancient sites that all have very, very similar design patterns when it comes to building, but yet they were so far apart. Back in those times, it would take, sometimes years or, crossing oceans in order for these civilizations to communicate with each other. But yet their masonry, their stone fitting was very similar to, a culture or civilization, 4,000 miles away that they never had contact with.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I think that goes back to UFOs and kind of seeding the planet.
I'm into that.
I think that was my last one.
I mean, honestly, that makes more sense than any of the religious explanations.
Wow.
Apologies to anybody super religious out there listening.
Apologies to theology.
Pretty much. Maybe I'll cut that part out.
Yeah, whatever makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're not trying to kill me because your God says that I'm an infidel, and you're not, preaching any of that. Hey, enjoy yourself.
That's
worship
generally the thing that I appreciate about most religions. It's just kind of like it's just a playbook of like how not to be a dick. It's like, hey, just don't be a dick.
Right.
Like, okay,
right.
Sometimes. Not all religions are that altruistic.
True. We are the way.
That's right. This is the way. I love the Mandalorian. All right. That seems like a good place to wrap up. Joe, any other honorable mentions, conspiracy theories you want to add on?
Oh, you know what? No, not really. I think I mentioned everything that I've got on my plate. Like I just, there's the greatest hits, the Elvis, the Jim Morrison, the
Beatles.
Tupac.
The Beatles. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What's the one about the Beatles?
Is a good one. That
Paul's dead.
Yeah, Paul's dead.
Oh, that's a clone? That's a clone of him then, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, makes sense. That tracks.
A stand-in, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why his music was never good after that. I buy that.
Wow.
It's never as good as a solo artist as it was with the Beatles.
But also, not just that Elvis is still alive, but that, that Elvis was two different people.
Oh.
Like that was a theory too. That like
I don't know that one.
When Fat Elvis was a completely different person.
Oh, I have heard that. Yeah. Poor guy.
Post-Ozempic Elvis.
Yeah.
How sad is that? Hey guys, try not to live your life in a way that when you die, people think you've been replaced by somebody else.
Think you've been replaced.
That's parting words from your old host here, Joel Berg.
Or maybe that's the best. That's the best way to live your life.
Because look at him, he's infamous now.
Yes,
We think
he's
an
more
alien.
than famous.
I'll make him infamous. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us down this rabbit hole of conspiracy theories. Again, thanks to our co-host Jason X, whose name will never be revealed.
Indeed.
I will have to apply the filter to your voice for this episode. Thanks again for.
Yeah.
Indeed. All happens in post.
That's right. And of course, my regular co-host Joe Cuccinelli,
Deep Throat,
aka Deep Throat. Hey, there you go.
Well, those are my pronouns. Is hairy and balls. Like that's because they ask me what my pronouns are every time I sign on to this thing. I'm like,
you don't have to put anything.
Well, I have to because I'm OCD and I have to fill in the blanks.
Next week it'll be Katy Perry. I twitch.
I know, right, dude? I have been like, I've been like weirdly silent on some of this because I'm just going through this, reading all these comments. I'm obsessed now with this.
We'll let you get back to it, Joe. Enjoy looking at lizard people on the internet. Hey, be safe out there, kids, when you're reading conspiracy theories. Don't believe everything you read on the internet.
But also don't believe everything you're told.
Trust your judgments. Believe your eyes.
Question everything
unless we tell it to you.
Also that, yeah. So the truth is in the middle. The truth is also out there.
It's the tooth, the whole tooth, and nothing but the tooth.
There you go. Thanks, listener, for joining us on another episode of Low Res High Def, and we will see you next time.
You've been listening to the Next Wave Radio Network.
That's fucking gold.